distance learning opportunities, but which need not be confined to distance learning. Again, a pleasure to be with you, and a real privilege to have you with us at George Mason University.
If I may ask our scholars and guests to line behind, want to take some group photos if it's okay. And I'd like to recognize Ann Schiller. She's the Associate Provost for International Project, George Mason, and Dr. Goodlett, my good friend. He's Associate Provost for Distance Learning at George Mason. So would you please come over here, and all of us.
They have learned, they have internalized the material that you have given them, and they can use it. And it's sometimes a very difficult step for instructors to make, is to change that focus. So I said, mostly because you can control teaching.
First of all, e-learning. You must be very careful in knowing, are you providing most meaningful and flexible learning for your learners? Your learners can come from all over the world. A diversity of learning style, diversity of ethnicity, diversity of geographical locations, and they are worldwide, and they are your learner. Can you create meaningful learning for them? Today, I'm going to talk about global e-learning framework and take your questions.
It's going to more than one person. You're going to interact with what you get. It's not going to just stop. It's not a terminal event. It's bringing it to your box. It's trolling the internet to find all the things that relate to what you said you wanted to subscribe to. So it's really just, it's a conduit, but it really is doing a lot of things at one time. If you tried to do that, you know how many steps that would take. You'd have to go and do a search using Google or some other search engine. You'd have to then find the material that you want. You'd have to then copy the URL into a link list, and then you would still have to go back to that every day.
That's our overall directive in terms of how we do curriculum development, what are the responsibilities of the different organizations within DAU, and we have the standards that we must meet, programs of instruction, student assessment plans, which tie back to our accreditation standards outside of DAU.
By bringing these two communities together, and I think it's very important, not just for technical training, but medical, other areas of training. Again, content's always changing, and we have to keep it as accurate as possible and to track that. And we need to do so in an environment that we're working together.
We have a series of George Mason University presenters. They're great, as you can see. And I was a professor for 14 years at George Washington and University of Texas. And I feel that the professors who are teaching online courses, they really love online. And they will share with you many of the issues that I talk about in my book with Octagon model. And so please know that some of them will stay for lunch. You can spend more time. Their presentations, I'm copying on my computer. We'll make it available to NCEL, mcquidden.com/NCEL. All right, right now, we are pressed on time a little bit because I wanted to have all of them really. I wanted to have more George Mason faculty to get in there. So this is what we get so far. Inshallah, in future, we'll have more. If I take it for program Harvard, we have a Harvard professor coming too, but this is the opportunity for George Mason this year. So now I would like to present to you Dr. Catherine Tompkins. Dr. Tompkins is the Director of Undergraduate Social Work Program at George Mason University.
Students to do is, instead of getting 37 emails, about I can't open this document, or something to that effect, I try to get them to problem solve with other folks in the class, or to go through the tech support.
What do you call that?
It's called Ask 3 Then Me.
That's nice.
Yes, and so I explain what all that is. And if you're interested in any of these documents just to see, I can always send those electronically.
Now, on my Steve Jobs designed
iPad. I'm sure you all have telephones. How many of you have smartphones to access, to access information? This, at least for the time being, is the platform of choice and the platform of the immediate future and certainly of the present. About 3 weeks ago, my former company, USA Today, which is part of the Gannett conglomerate, announced that they were going to switch from a primary platform of print to a primary platform of mobile.
And how to communicate, create, collaborate effectively using state-of-the-art technologies. We also talk to students about information security and what kind of precautions they can take and how to defend against computer crimes. So basically you will notice that this course is a mix of lecture and lab component, and which is lecture is mainly about core concepts and lab is where students go there and do hands-on activities.
The way I'm going to structure this is I'm going to show you how our courses fulfill your framework. And so how you can make each part of the framework come alive.
So for my presentation, I wanted to give you the course background, overview the delivery methods. I've got 3 delivery methods, completely online, a hybrid option, and then a face-to-face option. How I plan the assessment approach and the sort of the approach that I've adapted, it's evolving, but sort of where I am now. And then how I measure the outcomes and the faculty reflection piece, which I think is so important.
And the students will focus more on that than on the content. Let me just give you an overview of the type of course which I typically teach here at Mason. It's called English 302. It's a general education course. It's advanced composition. And we have these broken up in different disciplinary structures.
Biometric technology, they give a master's degree and bachelor degree in biometric technology, and they are focusing also on the security side of biometrics. To use it right now, it's already incorporated in the US passports, and they try to convert it in different IDs like driver license. They try to bring it also to hospitals, and sometimes they try to also to convince some people to implant.